too.
Hello out there in YouTube land, Rival here. Thanks for stopping by. I got something pretty freaking sweet on the turntable for y'all this week. This is something that was announced quite a while ago. Gosh, it may have been last year even. Maybe SHOT Show 2014. I forget really off the top of my head, but very excited about this one. This is the ZT-0102 Tactical Tomahawk. This is the first production Tomahawk that ZT ever built. As far as I know, it's discontinued, but there are shipments of these that we've seen kind of popping up over the last few weeks. This thing really officially hit the U.S. Just a couple of weeks ago. Before that, it had hit a few foreign markets in small batches. So, as per usual, nobody knows how many of these things exactly were produced. But we'll go over some of the specs, and you'll kind of figure out why. I don't think this thing was an easy project for these guys, but it definitely is a badass one. So to get the ball rolling, the sheath on this is not actually the final sheath that's in the US version. I had won this on the greatest knife forum on the planet. Some ZT hosts a forum. They did a little giveaway, and in the giveaway I got this just a little bit before the thing hit the public. So the final version sheath is actually a little bit better than this. It's a hard shell that wraps around like this. Only instead of this, when I show you, it pops up out of the sheath. The new version, the sheath swings like this, and then you can take the axe out. It's pretty freaking sweet. This one still works good. Pops right out the top. But this is what all the chatter has been about. On some forums I had seen some of the ZT bashers talking about they don't think this thing's ever coming out. It's been taking too long. This is a pretty insane piece of work. It is Vanadis 4 Extra, or Vanadis 4 Extra is the steel, which you don't see a lot of knives being made in. And the thickness of this bad boy is just over an 1/8 inch thick. So it's a nice, solid, sturdy piece of Vanadis 4. And that's a 3rd generation powdered tool steel. It's from the Udenholm guys. I believe that's Swedish. Same people who make like LMAX, M390. It's very, very tough steel. If I'm not mistaken, this thing's coming in between like 60 to 62 HRC, and I've read up that it can go even higher than that. It's extreme toughness, and it's got extreme edge retention. So kind of like M390, it's going to hold that edge for a really long time, and it's going to be able to take a beating without having to worry about heavy amounts of wear. Now on the flip side, it's going to make it extremely tough to sharpen, but being a hatchet, you're not really going to sharpen it as much. You're going to put a more obtuse edge on it than you would with a knife. I mean, you could put, say, like a 40 degrees or even 30 degrees inclusive edge on this thing, but that would kind of defeat some of the purpose. A more obtuse edge is going to allow more force to go at it with less damage to the edge itself. That's kind of the point of a axe or a hatchet. Now, this isn't really like a woods hatchet. It's not necessarily a camping hatchet. As you can see from the profile, so you've got a very sharp, aggressive pick at the end. It very much is almost like a breaching and penetration tool. You can put this through like an aluminum door, no problemo. I've poked lots of tin cans and thin sheets of sheet metal with this thing. A couple of chunks of hardened wood. I did take it camping a few times already this over the past several weeks. I went out twice, so I have taken it out with me, and it does pretty good, especially compared to the crappy little camp hatchet that I keep around in my gear. A lot of guys just got a little cheapo hatchet that's tossed in there, so this thing performs light years beyond what that thing does. So as far as the overall design, I like it a lot for several different reasons. One of the first reasons is the hole that you can kind of see highlighted there in the middle of the blade. Not only for a weight reduction kind of thing, but in the event you ever need... Whoa! Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. In the event you ever need to use the pry bar that's at the end of this bad boy, I think when you're holding on to it, kind of just gives you the option of a little bit better grip. Something extra to kind of pull and torque on. If you needed to, you could even drop another tool in there, another pry bar to extend your leverage. So I think it gives you some interesting options. It was a problem, you know, when I was doing some light chopping around the campsite or anything like that, as far as getting anything stuck in there or preventing it from performing. So, you know, aesthetically it's kind of cool. The edge, it came pretty sharp for a hatchet. I don't know a lot about edge profiles for tomahawks or hatchets, so I can't give you a lot of insight. I can tell you it is a good chopper, though. And the pick, or the point at the end, that's not sharpened, but it comes to a very... I'm not able to really focus enough to show you guys this, but I don't have macro on this thing. Well, maybe... There we go. Oh, kinda. It's not sharpened, but it is extremely fine. So it does a very, very good job, believe me, of penetrating. Some large G10 overlays, about 1/4 inch thick on the G10 overlays, on both sides of this thing. And then you've got this kind of little pocket with a swoop, and then a nice curved edge. And then again, I mentioned before the pry bar at the tip, which I could see as being very handy. Again, you know, thinking of this as a tactical or breaching tool, being able to get that into a door jamb or something like that, clamp onto this head, give it some really good leverage and pop something open. You know, some thin door panel. I got some whole doors around this house I've really been itching to sink this thing into. But, you know, being able to penetrate that, pop something open, I think would not be much of a problem for a lot of just, you know, general types of tasks, not heavy-duty doors or heavy-duty things. But I think it would do a good job. As far as the grip and handling and holding it, it is very comfortable. I'll put weight stats down in the description below. I've got to get a scale out that's going to better fit this thing. But it's not uncomfortable to carry at all. I really like this swoop and where they put it right here for a couple of different reasons. You know, if you're holding this thing one-handed, forefinger over the top, it gives you a really comfortable mid-grip. If you're doing a little bit of light chopping, you don't need the full amount of leverage. Maybe chopping up some kindling or small sticks or twigs or something like that if you do use it as a camp hatchet. That's pretty handy. I also like that forward grip, getting your hand all the way up in here, and it is big enough so that if you got gloves on, it's still very comfortable with the gloves. But I did some shaving of some of my branches and wood and things like that, and just getting some good curls going, being able to hold it very close to the edge and get a little detail work done with this big of the blade is pretty impressive. And then, you know, there's enough room for two hands at the end. I don't know what you'd ever use that for, but really that extended grip is extremely comfortable. So all in all, I'm extremely impressed with this thing as a whole. You can see I've got some good usage marks on it. I could probably clean it up a little bit more, but the DLC has held up extremely well. You know, I've not been using the living crap out of it, but I have used it for anything I would have normally used my camp hatchet for without issue. I've seen these things pop up at Blade HQ. I've seen them pop up at Knife Center. They kind of pop up, sell out within a couple of hours, and then, you know, a couple weeks later something else pops up. So if you're looking for one of these bad boys, definitely keep your eyes open. Especially if you're into being able to use something like this, the Vanadis 4 Extra steel, especially everything you read about it is extremely impressive, and thus far in my use of it, I agree that it is an extremely impressive steel. So I can't wait to really be able to torque on it over the years. It's something really nice to have in the collection. But really, this is one of the few things too that when we got it, even my wife was impressed. She doesn't really care much about knives and blades and all that jazz. If she needs to cut something, she'll come grab a knife. She's indifferent to what it is. She's got a CRKT Ripple. That's her knife. But other than that, she really doesn't pay much attention. And when this thing came out of the package, her eyes instantly came toward it. She had the same thought as me. She's like, I need to break something with that. So she's had a little bit of fun too, going out into the cornfields, as the weather changes, cutting down some corn stalks to do some decorating with and things like that. Does a great job. But that's what we've got on the turntable this week. I got plenty more things on the horizon. This literally just came in yesterday. So we're going to do a video on that soon. And then, as you saw in my collection video, I've got a whole bunch of new custom knives in my collection. 3 in particular that I really need to do some videos on. So those will be coming up in the very near future. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Peace.